Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we'll be diving deep into a topic in automotive industry, which is China taking over the EV market? With the rapid growth of electric vehicles worldwide, China has emerged as a major player. But is China really dominating the scene? Now let's find out. Now let's discuss China's electric vehicle booming markets. And according to data from Statistica showing vehicle production volume between 2013 and 2021, China produced and sold just a little above 17,000 vehicles, which comprises the battery electric vehicle, the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, and fuel cell. Now fast forward to 2021, China produced and sold a whopping 2.9 million electric vehicles worldwide. That's a over 169% increase, much more than the previous year. And in the same year, the United States of America sold just a little above 600,000 electric vehicles. That's 600,000 electric vehicles from the United States of America and 2.9 million electric vehicles sold from China just in 2021. So the question is, why is the number of electric vehicles in the United States still very low at less than 6%? The reasons are, number one, which is the cost. The cost to purchase an electric vehicle is still very high, so most customers will prefer to go for a cheaper alternative. The second reason is a poor buyer education and fewer charging infrastructure. For instance, China has 1.8 million charging stations spread across China, compared to just a little above 160,000 electric vehicle charging stations spread across the United States. And the third reason is policy. Some states like California has a policy that mandates a customer from buying directly from a dealer, which means a manufacturer is restricted from selling their vehicles to the buyers. In 2022, 14% of the total vehicles sold globally are electric vehicles, up from 9% in 2021 and less than 5% in 2020. In the first half of 2023, a total number of 6 million battery electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles have been sold so far. So the global adoption of electric vehicles can be attributed to certain factors which include improved technology and longer range, government policy, cool factor and urbanization, and the growing concern for the environment. EV target is becoming increasingly popular in the automotive manufacturers, and it's becoming a case of if you are late to the market, then you might be out of business. Automakers are currently investing heavily in electrification and digital technology. And in addition to electrification, automakers are also coming up with strategies to decarbonize and reduce CO2 from their logistics and supply chain. When comparing Chinese brands with their international counterparts, for instance, cars that are made in Germany, there seems to be stereotypes in Chinese manufacturing. So let's compare Chinese brands on the basis of build quality, technology, and pricing. We've all heard this saying that made in China is synonymous to low quality and low cost products. While it's true that China is able to manufacture a low cost and low performing product, I think the situation is China has something for everyone. In recent years, China has shifted their attention to building a high quality product. It will surprise you that 95% of Apple products are manufactured in China. Take for instance, BMW, Volkswagen, are among the very many automobile manufacturers that manufacture in China and then ship them to other parts of the world like America and Europe. I recently took a test drive in BYD Seal, which is a manufacturer from China, and I can confirm that the build quality is as good as their rivals. It all depends on how much you are willing to pay. China's focus on disruptive technologies like the autonomous, intelligent, connected, and alternative fuel vehicles means China has the potential to lead this transformation in the future. PwC predicts that the development of autonomous driving in Europe and in America could happen at a roughly parallel pace in 2030, but could happen at a much faster rate in China, even over the Western world at the same time. Currently, the United States seems to hold the spot in terms of vehicle technology. And talking about technology, take for instance semiconductor. Some of the largest manufacturers of this critical component are from the United States. And recently, Joseph Biden placed a ban on the export of these critical components to China. But it seems China is also catching up by investing $143 billion into developing their own microchip. This is where China has an edge. Electric vehicles manufactured in China are more cheaper than EVs manufactured elsewhere. Take for instance, a Tesla Model Y cost about $49,000 in China, and the same Tesla Model Y cost about $65,000 in America. Interestingly, a lot of manufacturers are now manufacturing in China, then ship their products to America and Europe. It's also important to know that Chinese government gives incentives to EV manufacturers. 54% of the global steel comes from China. I think this explains the reason why EVs manufactured in China are more cheaper than EVs manufactured elsewhere. Without electricity, electric vehicles are useless. And to promote the adoption of electric vehicle, there should be a renewable source of energy delivered at low cost and at proximity. There is a discussion around whether EVs are truly zero emission because only 29% of the global electricity generation come from renewable source. 71% of the global electricity generation come from biofuels, but that's a discussion for another video. Now, talking about charging infrastructure, China has 1.8 million electric vehicle charging stations spread across China. The United States has 138,000 electric vehicle charging stations across the United States and just a little above 46,000 electric vehicle charging stations across the United Kingdom. I think this explains the reason behind the wide adoption of electric vehicle in China over their Western counterparts. China dominates the battery production. In fact, the first and the third biggest EV battery manufacturers in the world, CATL and BYD, are from China. 30 to 40% of the cost associated with building an electric vehicle is from the battery. So this explains the reason why Chinese EV manufacturers are able to reduce the bottlenecks that comes with supply chains and are also able to drive the costs down. In my own opinion, I think China is smart and proactive to be able to dominate the battery production. In early 2000, the Chinese government realized that it was impossible for them to rival counterparts from the US, Germany, and even Japan. So what China did was to move away from an already established technology, which is the internal combustion engine, and decided to explore an untapped technology, which is using battery to power vehicles. Battery technology is an emerging technology, and it's interesting to see a lot of research and development in this field. But China still holds a spot, at least for now. China's economic growth is a major threat to the European Union and to America's emerging technology. Just recently, the European Union accuses China of flooding their market with artificially low electric vehicles and promises to investigate and possibly fight back by imposing punitive tariffs. But the question is, some Western manufacturers like the Volkswagen and BMW manufacture some of their cars from China and also benefit from Chinese government incentives. So, will they be excluded from the punitive tariffs? China's dominance in the EV market seems to be the latest geopolitical tension between the United States and Europe. 80% of the world's lithium, a critical component in the manufacture of EV battery, is mined in China, Chile, and in Australia, with China controlling more than half of the world's processing and refining. So, imposing a punitive tariffs on Chinese EVs might have a severe consequence. The EV market is an emerging one, especially with the fast charging battery technologies. There are indications that the electric vehicles will become more affordable due to growing competitions and advancements in battery technology. In the fight for superiority, the relations between China, which is the second largest economy, European Union, and the United States have deteriorated. Going forward, I think collaboration between China, US, and Europe will bring a global win, most especially in research and development. The future of mobility is easy: electrified, autonomous, shared, connected, and yearly updated. Our mobility habits is also changing, and for any manufacturer, whether in China or in other part of the world, to be successful, they will have to offer a user-friendly innovation. Our discussion has been around how China is dominating the EV market and how other countries are trying to catch up. I've also discussed some key factors that makes China dominate the EV market. I've also compared Chinese brands with their rivals in terms of build quality, technology, and price. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's a wrap for today's video, and I hope you find this exploration insightful. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and share this video with your fellow EV enthusiasts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.